Yo, what's good, YouTube? You know what it is. Your boy Micah back in this motherfucking, man. It's the red pill shit. As you know, we back in this joint, man. And again, look at the move. Hey, yeah, man, you know what it is. What's good, YouTube? What's good, YouTube? Yeah, I'm feeling this one. Hold on. Keep the beat going. Just good, YouTube. Hey, man, we gotta have fun in this joint, man. Y'all know what it is. Let's look at the title. Man. Y'all see it. I know y'all see it. Are women living in reality? Let's just start off by saying hell to the no. They are not living in reality. A lot of these women are not. They are not living in reality. The reality is marriage rate is down. Like, it's going to shit. That's number one. Divorce rate is like through the roof. That's number two. Like, the divorce rate is crazy. And all these people who are in these marriages or relationships are finally waking up and saying, yo, look, this shit ain't for me, bro. Like, I can't be married to this woman. Because when they really start analyzing the female that they have, yo, even when in their 50s, even dudes in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, depending on whenever they had got married, they're starting to really wake up and look at the type of females that are being talked about or discussed, or see the type of females in the media that are doing shady shit to do, and they looking at their women and they're just like, yo, wait a minute, she kind of, damn, they sound like they talking about my chick. They don't know her, they don't know her name, they don't know me, but it sounds like they talking about my situation. So it's just like, you got all these dudes that's just like, you know what, I've been dealing with this shit for years, fuck this shit, and they finally getting up. So the divorce rate is through the roof, man. Like, it honestly is. Like, it's sad to say, but that's the truth. That's what it is. Because a lot of people got married and they didn't know what they was getting into or what they expected, and they dealt with bullshit for years. And now that men are actually speaking out to the shit that women are doing, it's just like a lot of them are actually finally dropping their balls, and they just like, yeah, you know what, kid or not, this or not, I gotta get out because I deserve better than this. Which is great, but homie, you wasted so much of your life. So it's important to have the younger generation coming in, be on this red pill shit and know what's going on, so they don't waste their life, waste all their good years with somebody that's not worth the shit. And that's just what it is, man. So first off, about this shit, these women that aren't living in reality, right? They have these crazy expectations, man. If you don't listen to Kevin Samuels, the Godfather, if you ain't listening to Kevin Samuels, man, I definitely highly engage you to pretty much go and do that. Like, I'm telling you, go and listen to Kevin Samuels. It don't matter if you're a woman, if you're a man, if you're older, you're younger, go listen to Kevin Samuels, because what he is talking about, especially in the black community, it is facts what is going on. And a lot of these women, man, they not trying to admit that shit, but they gonna end up dying alone, or be a cat lady or a dog lady or some shit, and they die alone. And that's just what it is, because a lot of them are not accepting reality. Their expectations are like through the roof. And you know, if you even look at some of the chicks that Kevin Samuels be like having interviews with, it just boggles your mind. Like, he had this one chick that was on there. She's like 25. She making like 40K roughly or something a year. She's not taking her career, not taking life, not taking a relationship or what marriage would even be seriously. And she feels she deserves a man that's in the 10% of America what is being made by wages. You want a man making 100K plus? And what you bring to the table because you think you're funny? Man, that shit. And it's crazy because people are just like, oh, you know, there's women out there that bring a lot to the table, blah, blah, blah. See, but that's the problem with talking to, you know, a lot of these females and shit. But we'll get into that. So we're still talking about expectations. A lot of these women, they are expecting you to pretty much make 100K plus, while they make little to half of that. And you know, people always talk about it and say, you know, finances aren't important. Finances aren't a big thing until they become a big thing. Until you're sitting in that spot when you're just like, damn, I'm paying for everything and she can't even give me basic respects. Or I'm doing all this shit, or I want all these things with her, and there's so many stories about dudes paying off chicks for chicks and these females and shit. And then the females, right after the dude pays it off, they roll out. So it's just like, you want this man of this high caliber that's willing to do all this or be able to provide for you, but you're bringing little to nothing to the table. And the crazy thing is, the higher up the ladder that you go, the men don't really care, especially about finances too much. And I know you might be like, finances, you just said finances are important. Well, they are. But the more that a man is able to provide for a woman and take care of a woman and do whatever the fuck he feels he needs to for this woman, the less they care about the finances that the woman brings. They care about your other attributes that you bring to the table more than your finances. And that's a true fact. Like, I mean, of course, everybody would, as making 100K plus a year, obviously I would want 100K plus a year. Like, I'm not gonna complain if my woman making like 80, 90, 100, 200, 300. Like, I ain't complaining. That's cool. If she kicking like that, hey, baby girl, hey, you gonna be paying for some shit. I tell you that right now. But it's just like, yo, for real, if she caking like that, that's cool. But see, the issue that is found more than not in this modern society is the more that a woman is making, they have these nasty, fucked up attitudes. Like, it's crazy, because they're playing in this Shark Tank with all these other men, and it's like they have this inferiority complex. So it's just like they always feel they have to be this certain way or have this attitude or have this like energy to them that makes them undateable. It makes them undesirable to a man. Like, you know, so many females are just like, oh, you think I want to be with a dude that makes me feel like I'm with a female? Fuck no. So do you think that many of these men want to be with a woman that makes them feel like they with a man? Fuck no. Like, come on. Like these females are not being realistic. And obviously this is, you know, the problem with one of the huge things in our society going on right now is just like, every time you talk about the majority of what's happening, you know, pretty much females always want to bring it to the minority. And we're not talking about minorities. We're not talking about, oh, well, in this special case, this female's not acting like that, because the majority of females are. And that's what we are talking about. If you're in the minority, yo, clap, clap. I salute you. My hat's off to you. You making 300 something thousand and you are still submissive to your man. You're still cooperative. You still taking the time out to be fit and feminine. Yo, my hats are off to you. But that's not who we are talking about here. We are talking about the women who are none of those things. And it's just like, you think that making this low ass amount, not being fit, not being feminine, not being cooperative, and not being submissive to your man, you feel that this man that's making 100,000 plus a year is supposed to choose you. He's supposed to choose you to give him headaches, to have arguments, to have disagreements, or no, I want to do this, no, I don't want to do this. No, why he got to deal with all that? Because majority of all women are chasing this man making this caliber of money. So it's just like, if she feels with little to nothing that she's bringing to the table, she's supposed to get this man. Well, what do you feel the next one that's making little to nothing that feels they're supposed to get this man? So there's so many options for men making this amount of money to choose from, and that's just the honest truth. Now, when you even bring it to a different bracket of women that, okay, she might not make a lot, but she is cooperative, fit, feminine, and submissive. Well, why would I choose you making the same amount roughly, or maybe even if a little more than her, but she has all those qualities? Why would I choose you over her? And that's what I mean, where I'm just like, that's where the finance starts to not really essentially matter, because they make the man makes enough to be able to take care of the woman, when it's like it doesn't really matter to them. As long as the woman is cooperative, fit, feminine, and submissive, that's all that's really mattering. Because a man does not want to have these arguments, these issues, none of these bullshit things when they're coming home. And all these women think, oh, it's just my body that's gonna keep a man. And it's like, yo, if he just wants to fuck you, yeah. But if this man actually wants to be with you, if he wants to actually present a ring to you, if you're not having these qualities, if you're not doing this for him, he's not going to do it. And that's just what it is. And all these females just want to chase this type of man, but you're not qualified to have him. And so, even just watching the show is just like, so because you think you're funny, because that's the only decent thing that you just said out your mouth. Because everything else is like, okay, you making 40K. I could at least say you make 40K and you have a plan to where you want to go. I could work with you more or less. We'll see. But then even with that, it's just like you have these women who expect that, oh, this man is supposed to lift me up. And that's the crazy thing about, these feminists too. It's just like, oh, I don't need a man, but if I get into a relationship with a man, I expect him to lift me up and bring me to his level. What the fuck? What? I'm gonna just have to pause this or something, because just let that one sit on you. That's so retarded. So it's just like, anyway, that's the problem with the feminist shit, but that's a whole nother discussion, man. Basically, you just, like I said, you have these females, they are expecting way too much and they're bringing nothing to the table, and it's crazy, right? So then, women, the second thing of women that's not living in reality, a lot of them aren't accepting the facts. They're not accepting facts. You go ahead and you say to a woman, hey, guys only really want this, or this is all this guy is probably looking out from you, or this is probably all this guy wants from you. Yo, so many of these women are just like, oh, that's not true. That's not really happening. Well, this study and research says otherwise. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, if we was to sit here and take a consensus, if I was to go down the street to the University of Maryland, right, and I was to go to talk to every female, it don't matter if she was a 2, a 1, a negative fucking 10, if she was a 20, or whatever the fuck you want to classify her or put on her calculations of what she is to you, whatever. It don't matter how bad or ugly she look. If I go to all the females and I say to them, I say, how many people do you think are in a healthy and loving relationship out of every 10 people that you see? I wonder what their answer would be. Because a lot of females like to be optimistic, and they'll be like, maybe 6, 7. Bro, it's every 1 in 10, if even that. And that's just the reality of our fucked up society right now. Because people are getting with people that they don't need or even qualify for. And that's just what it is. Is it wrong? Sure. Is it messed up to say? Sure. Do people deserve better? I guess. But that's just the reality. Now, when we even talking about marriage, that's a whole nother topic. It's so many of these females are just acting as if this whole shit with the marriage rate going down is not true. Oh, it's not true. My friend just got married. Nobody gives a fuck about your friend. Your friend is one woman in the entire rationale or aspect of the rest of this world. Your friend is one woman. We talking about global scale. We talking about everywhere. What's going on? What's happening? The marriage rate is declining, especially in the black community. The marriage rate is down, boy. So it's just they don't want to accept those facts. They don't want to accept that if you go and survey women in their 50s, 60s, even in their 40s, just to see how many women are single, it's a fuck of a lot. Why? Because just men are just not dealing with it no more. They are walking out from the bullshit, and that's where the whole men go their own way shit, the MGTOW shit come from. Because it's just like they're done. There's so many dudes, they're done with the bullshit. They done being disrespected. They done being treated away. And I'm gonna make a video on it. I had this interesting conversation with this lady in the comments. I'm gonna make a video just specifically for that, and I'm gonna pick that shit apart to, again, the third point that I'm gonna make now. We can't even have conversations about reality with like these females. They're not living in the reality to the point you can't have conversations. Like, even the second point, they'll ignore facts that marriage rates are down, divorces are up, and if you go and you ask majority of all these women, even if they're in a high position, majority of women in a high position are unhappy. Why? Because their attitude is fucked up and they don't have a partner. They don't have a man to really be with. What the hell? You go do a surveillance or a survey, right? I meant to say, of all the shit, of all the people in their 40s, 50s and shit. And these are like real researches and shit being done. And people still not, like, these women still not believing it. They just like, oh, blah, blah, blah. The rate of women dying alone has shot up in the last couple, like, it's shot up like crazy. And these women still aren't accepting these facts. And it's like, when you try to bring these facts to a conversation and be like, so what do you feel with this rate rising? You don't feel there's no problem, there's no issue to address, there's not something going on that needs to change. You just feel like, oh, this is fine. I say I want marriage, I say I want kids, I say I want to have this family, I say I want all these things, but there's nothing wrong with what the majority of women are doing. There's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, we are not talking about the minority, we're talking about the majority. And it's just like, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. You really don't feel there's anything wrong with what a lot of women are doing for the rates to be going up, for the facts and statistics and proof to be there that these women, more and more women are dying alone, more and more women are unhappy than ever. Come on, man. Let's be serious. The facts are there. But it's just like, you can't bring this to a conversation, because every time you talk to like a lot of these women, again, they're not living in reality. They talk about, well, I feel this way. And it's just like, bruh, nobody gives a fuck about your feelings, bruh. Nobody cares about them shits. I'm talking about shit that's really happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, not one point in time that I'm like, well, I feel, that men and women are being divorced at an alarming rate. No, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, men and women are being divorced at an alarming rate. You can go look it up. There's research for it. There's facts for it. And it's just like, every time you try to have a conversation with these women, it's just like they result to, well, I feel, or I feel you are trying to be disrespectful, or I feel you're trying to talk this way, or I feel you're, and it's like, everything that you try to say, they try to label with feelings or something else so that you don't have an actual conversation. It's just them basing everything that they want to base on opinion, not on facts, not shit that's happening, not data, not real analytics, just on opinion that they personally feel. Not even a general consensus of an opinion. No, it's just an opinion on what they feel. So it's just like, well, if you expect all this shit, but you're not getting it, you're ignoring the fact that a lot of these women that expect this shit aren't getting it and are dying alone. And then we can't even come to the table and have a conversation about what the fuck is clearly wrong so that it could be fixed or changed. Well, then what do you expect to happen? Because at the end of the day, Kevin Samuel said it best. Men do control the relationship and the marriage, because you don't see women unless, again, this is a minority basis. You don't see women going out and being like, hey, let's be together. Hey, I want to propose to you. Let's get married. Women aren't doing that. It's men doing that. So it's like, you don't think you coming to the table with something of worth. You don't think you coming to the table being cooperative, fit, feminine, and submissive, but yet you supposed to get this. You can't even have a conversation where we talk real facts on what you're bringing, what you really should get for what you're bringing, and what you should probably strive to do better to get what you're even expecting. We can't even have those conversations because it's all about how I feel. I feel I should get this because I have a pussy and that shit might be torched or that shit might be ran through, but I still feel I'm a fucking Porsche or a Ferrari. But I'm rolling around the motherfucking streets like a goddamn Prius. You know what? I'm not even gonna disrespect the Prius like that. You rolling around the streets. What is the most insulting car I could say that you're in? That little cube car. What's that little cube car, man? That look like if you just get in a crash, that's it. You're dead. You die. Whatever, man. You rolling around in the most fucked up beater possible, and you trying to act like you a fucking Bugatti, and that's what you deserve. And it's like, where these women getting this notion, man? So, like, to all my guys watching this joint, man, when women start talking like to you, and if they start saying something, if they start something with the I feel, yo, just dead that conversation, because it's going to either turn into an argument or just something that's just unrealistic. Because if a person can't come to the conversation with actual facts and things that's going on, if they base what is being said about how they personally feel, nah, it's not gonna be good. Like, it's just not gonna be good. Because I can say right now, yo, this remote is black. That's a fact, right? But then let's say Micah number 2, whatever, right? Micah number 2 is just chilling right here, and he's just like, well, I feel that remote's red. And I'm sitting here like, motherfucker, it's black. What are you talking about? It's black, bro. You know? And the dude can just say as much as I feel it's red. I feel it's red. And because I feel it's red, that entitles me to be able to say whatever dumb shit that I want to. And because I feel it's red, I expect it's supposed to control every other fucking TV in the vicinity because I feel that it should. What? That's literally the logic that a lot of these women are bringing to the table when you try to have these conversations. So, again, if you're a man, yo, if they start with the I feel, just dead the conversation. If you're a woman listening to this junk, yo, please take it with a grain of salt. This is not to disrespect ladies. This is not to put y'all, in no type of way. It's just to be real about what's going on in our current society. A lot of women are expecting a lot of shit and not living in reality about what they actually qualify for, and they don't even want to change to better themselves to qualify for something better. They just say, well, because I feel I deserve this shit, that's what I should get. And it's like, what man could go around and do that? None. So, you know what, guys, man, you already know what it is. Sometimes it's cruel and you gotta be cold. Sometimes you just gotta bust all kinds of nuts in them sugar walls and keep that shit moving. But until next time, you know who it is, man. You know what the page. We back, and last but not least, about to be dropping like these red pill joints like crazy, man, like crazy. Like, I know it's been a while since I put out a red pill joint. I know it's been a while since I did a skit. I just been busy, been grinding, been doing business shit. And I think any of y'all supporting that, like, even watch this joint, share it, whatever, I'm just gonna start putting them out in, like I said, a lot of frequency. So we back at it again, man. You see the camera, man. You see everything, man. You see it look a little different in here, man. It look a little different in here. We got something going on, man. But it's some stuff on the wraps for the skips and everything else. But like I said, man, subscribe to the Red Pill. subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the red pill. No, actually, you know what? That's a real fact. Subscribe to the fucking red pill. Stop living in this blue pill bullshit, right? Subscribe to the motherfucking red pill. Hear the truth. Take your ass on. Go listen to Steph is Cold. If you have not listened to Steph is Cold, go check out his channel, please, for the love of God, man. And support his Patreon as well if you can. Same thing with Kevin Samuels, man. If you have not took his time out, male or female, I don't care if you got a girl, a friend, go direct them to Kevin Samuels shit, like on some real shit, man. And that's it. I'm out. Till next time. Y'all be